What is happening, y'all? I don't have a lot of time here, so I'm just gonna try to make. What's up, baby? There's Ripley. She says hi. I'm gonna try to do a quick video here, as quick as I can. So, my storm gray bug out. Uh-oh, she's ready to play again. Hey, what's he doing? You ready? My storm gray bug out here. The axis lock springs, it has one on each side. One of them already broke. It still works because the other one still works, but it's busted. That's the fourth. Now I just started. You can't see it right now, but that's the side that's fucked up. Yeah. So I started buying Benchmades last summer. It's now April 7th. Yeah, it's not coming. Sometimes it'll swing down. You can see it hanging in there. Bullshit. So, yeah, so I don't know. It still works right now, but I'm gonna have to get another spring. I don't feel like sending this fucking thing in. I'm just gonna end up buying a fucking spring and putting it in myself. But I'm just kind of pissed. I started buying these last summer. It's now April 7th of 25. Hey. I've had my Presidio 2 Auto break twice. My Ranger Green Claymore broke once, one of the springs, and this is broken now. So that's 4 different times I've had a knife break. And of course, the $400 motherfucker after shipping and tax, that's the one that broke twice. It only took about 3 months to break, and then when I got it back, it took 3 weeks for it to break again. So when they sent it back to me this last time, it never showed up. It never even left FedEx. They had tracking info and it just said waiting for package, and that was it. So finally, they looked. I got a hold of them. They looked into it and realized that it never made it. So they sent me a new one. So at least they sent me that because I've been very upset otherwise. But yeah, it's brand new. So But I also, hey, don't tear up the rope. Hold on, let me get. Hold on a second. All right, sorry. Alright, we've been playing tug of war, so she's all wound up. So the parts request. Now, the first time, let's see if I got this. The first time I had sent for parts request, I said, I had several. I had like 5 different knives. I had changed out the pocket clip. They all had some kind of deep carry clip, and so the when you take it off and put on the standard 3-hole clip like I like, you have a hole without a screw. So I said I need 5 different screws. And they asked me they sent me an email asking what the models were. And I said, I just bought 5 standard 3-hole pocket clips from them. I just ordered from 5 of them. And I said I need the extra screw for those 5 knives that I put those on. So they asked me the model number. I told them. And I said, I took the original pocket clip off because I don't like the deep carry ones or the mini deep carry. I don't like them. I like the standard 3-hole clip. I bought them for 5 of them from you. I put them on. I need the extra screw. That's all I need. So they asked me what model numbers. I told them. And what did they send me? 4 deep carry fucking clips that I don't want and will never use, and 2 screws apiece. So it did help a little bit because at least I had the screws to use. I'm like, why do they send me these fucking clips? I don't want these fucking things, man. Like, shit, if you're gonna do that, send me the ones I actually fucking use, So, I said, hey, I had some other ones I bought since then, and I was like, listen, I got and then plus this one, I had a deep carry clip on it. When I emailed the guy, and mind you, the guy who said, they'll send me a new one, I said, hey, can you send me a 3-hole standard clip with the 3 screws so I can put it on, because that's what I had on the one that they lost. And he responded with, we can't change that out. It has to come the way it is. And I was like, yeah, I know. I didn't ask you to change it. I just said, can you send one with it? Because I paid money for the thing. And, they lost it, or whoever lost it other than me. I'm like, can you just send me the friggin' clip so I can put it back the way it was? Never got a response. So I did a parts request for 4 standard 3-hole pocket clips. Now by that, I mean, anybody doesn't know I'm talking this right here, that kind of clip. I like that on every one of them. Every one of them. That's what I put. Now in the thing it says I need 4 standard 3-hole pocket clips. I said I take the deep carry ones off of my knives because I do not like them. I do not use them. I replace them with these. The standard 3-hole pocket clip. I get an email. Hey, can you let us know the model numbers? I forgot because the screws are different sizes. So they're model specific. Okay. So I sent the 4 model numbers. Now, mind you, it crossed my mind that I should probably reiterate the fact that I want the standard clips and not the factory ones. But I'm like, well, I already wrote that in there. You know, I wrote that. 3-hole pocket clip. 4 of them. 3-hole pocket clip. Standard. With 3 screws. When I sent the numbers, here is what I received. I just picked it. I just got it today. 1 mini deep carry clip. 1 full-size deep carry clip. Another full-size deep carry clip, and the split arrow clip. This is about as close to what I asked for that I got. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, I'm not asking to split a fucking atom here, man. I've spent probably a couple $1,000s in the last 2 years at their fucking website and their shit, man. Like, you know, if you're gonna have a service, read the fucking description. They put a thing in there to type in a description of what you want. So, I don't know, maybe read it. Like, dude, I saw this. I was so fucking pissed this morning. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I wanted this shit that the fucking guy who, told me that it got lost and, can they send me another one? Now, mind you, I asked him if he could send me the, a brass one with the gray blade, and I said, it's $25 more. I said, I'll send you money or for the $25. Now we can't do it. It's going to only be exactly what you lost. I'm like, okay, whatever. And that's what I said. Can you send me the standard clip so I can replace that because that's what I had on there. It only cost me $10, but now fuck $10. It doesn't get you very much these days. And so you never fucking responded. But I had the parts request guy get a hold of me like the next day or 2 after that and ask me, hey, what are the model numbers? I said this. And in the description, as a matter of fact, I wonder if it says on here. They didn't put it on here. No, because a lot of times they'll have, like, the comments, like, the stuff you type, the things that you type will be on here sometimes. Of course, it's not on here. I was like, dude, how much money do they fucking waste sending out the wrong shit? That's, what, 8 pocket clips now they've sent me. 8 fucking pocket clips that I don't want and will never fucking use. Like, dude, can y'all, I don't know, just send me what I asked for? I'm pissed off about these fucking knives breaking so fucking easily. This is a $400 motherfucking knife. Now, to some people, that might be chump change, but to me, that's the most expensive knife I've ever owned. It breaks twice in 5 months, and when I get a new one sent to me, he wouldn't even fucking respond to me about sending the damn pocket clip. Now, somehow, the email with the other guy I was talking to, where he asked me the model numbers, I tried to look for that email. I didn't delete it. I keep all that shit. It's gone. I've looked at my emails, through my starred, even in the trash. There's nothing even in the trash, because I don't delete my emails. I just fucking star it, and that's it. It ain't there. I don't know how the fuck it disappeared, but it ain't there. Dude, I'm telling you, it's getting frustrating. It's really getting frustrating. I like these knives. I like the company. I like a shitload of the models that they make. But it's... Why do I get so dark in here? Oh, that's why. Screensaver went on. Yeah, there we go. I just don't understand it, man. Like, I'm not writing in fucking Swahili. It says 4 standard 3-hole pocket clips. That's what these are described as in the fucking info. And I said, and both times I said, I do not like the deep carry clips of any kind. I don't like them. I like the standard clip only. And 8 fucking clips. 8 of them, dude. 8 of them. I'm going to tell the guy, like, I'll send these back to you, bro, because I got no fucking use for them, man. I don't even want them. Man, that shit just irks the fuck out of me. Now, granted, thankfully it was free. But it's just like, dude, you're going to offer a free service, and then when I use it twice, it's completely fucking wrong both times. So the first time it worked out because at least they had the screws and they worked on the knives I needed them on. So I just let it go at that. But these other ones, man, I'm like, I knew I should have reiterated. You know, I can't blame it completely on them because I fucking knew I should have said again what I wanted. But, oh man, dude. I'm hesitant to even bother wasting my time again because they'll probably send me more shit I don't want. Now, I got some knives. This one needs to get this Satin Presidio 2, I need to get this sharpened. It's getting dull finally. My Ranger Green Claymore, that was like the second sharpest knife I've ever owned after they sharpened it. They did a fantastic job on that. But it dulled pretty quickly. Now, I don't know shit about steels, the different types of steel. I don't know anything about them. I don't know which ones are better at what. I don't know. I know I've heard that Magna Cut is supposedly supposed to stay sharper longer. It's harder to sharpen, and it's much more corrosion resistant. That's about the extent of what I know. And that D2 steel that comes on the Claymores that I have, it just didn't stay sharp. I mean, like super sharp. So much so that when I took it out of the package, when I got it back, I went to close it and it slipped, and I fucking filleted half my finger. It just peeled back. And it just brushed against my finger and just sliced it back. The only thing I've ever had that was sharper than that was the my Buck 110 Auto. Buck knives seem to be, like, without a doubt, the sharpest things you've ever seen. I showed people my Auto 110, and like everybody, it seems like everybody showed it to. I ended up cutting themselves with it, just looking at it. Like, jeez. I don't know. I guess I don't know, being bitchy, I guess. I don't know. But it's just like, dude, if you're going to offer service, you know, listen to what the people are asking for instead of just picking at random whatever the fuck you want and sending whatever you want. And I hate even knocking the company because I like their shit. They have a lot of knife models that I really like. There's a fucking ton I want to get. There's a whole bunch of ones they don't even sell anymore that are on eBay that I really want to get. Bunch of fixed blades, bunch of folders. There are a lot of fucking cool knives. But it's just frustrating. So anyways, the ones I got to sharpen, after they lost this, like, I don't want them to fucking lose more. I mean, I guess, you know, if they'll send me a new one, but, you know, again, I'll have to go get another fucking standard clip, because, you know, God forbid they fucking just put one in the package and send it with you. And like that really pissed me off, man. That really pissed me off. I was really fucking irritated by that. The guy didn't even bother responding back to me, and I wasn't shitty about it. I was like, hey, I know you. I don't want you to change them. Like, can you just send one with it for me before you mail the package? Because it hadn't been shipped yet. I'm like, could you just stick one of those in there within the fucking package for me so I can put it on? No response. All right, well, so much for that fucking customer service that you always hear so much about. You know, it's normally pretty good from my experience, but like, dude, I just don't get it, man. Maybe they fucking speak Swahili, and that's why they're not understanding what I'm saying. I don't know. But, hey, I tell you, Cat has just demolished this couch, dude. This couch is fucked. That's not the only thing she's torn apart. Hell, she's fucking ripping up the carpet. I don't want to have to get her claws taken out. Trying not to. It's been 3.5 years, but dear Lord, I can't replace anything while she has claws because she'll just destroy it. So anyhow, yeah, I don't know. Thought I had some more. I don't know. I've been wanting to make a video about the Bilderbergs and about shit going on in the world and things. Like, I made a few before, but I've been working on it. Like Friday night when I got home, I was like, because I just talk to myself all the time. And like on the way home, I just got on a roll. And that's the thing, like I always get on a really good roll on things that I really wish I had recorded when I'm not recording. I mean, I probably talk to myself, like just as I'm doing shit. I get home, we were driving home, get home, clean out the car. I just kept going on and on. I had like a lot of really good points. It was really, really good, but I never seem to have it recording. And then when I sit down and record it, it's like I got to be in the right mood to really just get into it and just keep going. I don't know. But I've been wanting to make a video about that again because it's a lot of shit. I don't know, there's a lot to cover with that. The Bilderbergs are the people that, super rich people that own everything. I've been doing some looking into it. Like I look, so I see signs in in towns around where I live. I see signs, realtor signs for Berkshire Hathaway, and it was something that made me decide, like, want to know who owns it. So I looked it up and I saw that Warren Buffett owns the majority of it. He has controlling interest. He has, I think, a little over 50% of it, and then some of the other people who own, these other three own less than 10% each, but they do have an interest in it, are BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. That's like the three main investment companies, what have you, that the Bilderbergs use. So I'm looking at the shit that he owns. It's like he owns 50% of Apple. From the last I saw, I think he owns 50. If what I've seen was correct, but he definitely has a huge share in Apple. But I think from what I saw last, he has like right about 50 or 51% of Apple. But he has controlling interest in Berkshire Hathaway, who has like 5.6% or so, 5.61% of Apple. So I guess that means that Warren Buffett has controlling interest in Apple now. And he owns, not only does he own a little bit of a lot of shit, and like everything he owns is worth multiple billions of dollars. Even like stuff that's like, 5% or less. We're talking, at least several $1 billion it's worth. He owns like part of Coca-Cola. So does Berkshire Hathaway. I think Chevron. And so does Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway owns all kind of shit. They own insurance companies, realtor companies. They own BSNF, I think, railroad, or whatever the one that's real similar sounding. That starts with a B. That's 4 letters. Railroads. They own that. And these are things that they own outright, not Chevron or Apple, but they own Fruit of the Loom. They own Duracell. They own Benchmade, the paint company. They own. Let me think. What else they got? Part of Coca-Cola. No, but that part of Coca-Cola, they don't own it outright. But God, there's so much. They own Dairy Queen. They own him or Berkshire Hathaway. One of them two, I think it's Berkshire Hathaway, owns an interest in the DaVita clinics. You see, the dialysis clinics. Yep, they own a bit of that, worth billions. God, what else does he own? But anyways, you start looking at this web of shit, and it's like that's how none of them technically have a monopoly, because they all own a percentage of pretty much everything, and they spread it all around so that nobody owns any one thing. And I think probably, each major company, one of them will own the controlling interest of this or that, and I think they kind of spread that around. So I haven't gotten too deep into it. But just what I know from the Bilderbergs, from what I've learned in the last 21 years, they pretty much own everything. So I haven't voted since the year 2000 for president, because every fucking president and every candidate, I didn't know of the Bilderbergs until 2004, and I learned of them shortly before that election. And that's when I found out Bush and Senior and Junior are Bilderberg members, or were, whatever. I don't know if they are still or what, but they definitely were at the time. So them, like every president, like the two main presidential candidates in pretty much every election going back to at least Reagan. Don't know about Carter. I'm starting to think Nixon might have been one of them, but at least through Reagan. And so all I had ever heard about Trump, he's the only one I heard that supposedly was not a member. And I don't know that I heard that during the first election, but since that first election, I had heard that, and that they didn't even want him as a member. So it makes me wonder. I swear my phone looks like, I don't know, it's like kind of wavy looking. Either I'm fucking having flashbacks or this camera's weird. So I'm like, okay, whatever. Still didn't. All 3 times that he ran, and whoever ran against him, I didn't vote for any of them, because I just assumed he was a Bilderberg member, and that they're just putting on a show to distract people so they can get away with whatever the fuck they want. Because they like to do that with the news. They like to distract people from what's really going on. So you're over here focused on this shit while they're over here doing this and you ain't paying no attention to it. So, and you know, every presidential election, both candidates seem like they're fiercely against one another. But really, they're part of the same group. All that fighting each other's shit is just a fucking show. It's a front they put on. Just to fucking make people think that you have a choice and shit. And you don't. So, this last election, I saw Trump on Joe Rogan podcast. I was impressed. I saw Vance's one episode 2, and I was actually really impressed, especially with Vance. You seem very much like a normal dude. But you know, I started thinking that for a while. I was like, fuck, man, maybe Trump really isn't one of them. I mean, I know he's got rich buddies, and he's rich, and he's going to look out for his interests and his buddies' interests and shit. I get that, but I don't have so much of a problem with people in office looking out for themselves and their buddies so long as they're not fucking us over in the process. And that's how all the other presidents have done. So, for a little while here, I kind of got a little bit of hope thinking, all right, maybe we finally got someone in there that's going to actually, you know, not continue to fuck us over and maybe try to make life a little bit more bearable for us broke motherfuckers instead of trying to just keep pushing, you know, 95% of the world's population into fucking extreme poverty. And nowadays, you can get there just from fucking trying to put food on the table. Thank God I don't have any kids. My dog and cat are enough. Shit. That takes enough money and time and stuff. But, man, if I had, like, kids, I don't know what the fuck I'd do, man. And wages never fucking go up for shit. So, anyhow, I was hoping maybe he was one of us and not one of them. And then I saw about him supposedly and again, you know, I could be wrong on this information. Just things that I saw that I kind of looked into a little bit, but, you know, I can't say for sure that it's fact. But it said something about him just basically reclaiming the Panama Canal. And at first I thought he had sold the Panama Canal to BlackRock. I was like, what? One of the most important waterways in the fucking world, and you're going to sell it to the Bilderbergs fucking investment firm? And for $22 billion when they're rolling with like $10 million worth of fucking money they're investing all the time? No, sorry, $10 trillion. $10 trillion a year that BlackRock's messing with. I'm like, $22 billion? But then I think what it was that he had just sold some key ports to BlackRock. Now, when I saw he's doing business with them, I was like, I don't know. I can't say either way yet because I don't know. We just kind of have to wait and see what happens. But, yeah, that little bit of hope that I had for a few months there, it's kind of gone now. It is because I see this as could be a couple different reasons. One, he knows that, you know, they got a lot of money, they got a lot of power, and so maybe he's trying to get some money out of them, but, dude, I'm sure they would have paid more than $22 billion. $10 trillion fucking dollars, man. They could have got 100, 200 billion out of them, and they would have made that money up, I'm sure, because obviously those ports are worth a lot of fucking money. Now, I also heard that's maybe a Hong Kong company owned them and sold them to BlackRock or something, but from what I understand, he had something to do with it. I don't know. But, again, you know, I don't trust most of the shit I see, so I don't know. But this is just what's been on my mind lately. And, like, either he knows they got money, he's trying to get some money out of them for something, doing what he thinks, you know, maybe he's doing what he thinks is best, or I wonder if it's basically like his bid to become a member. Now, for him, if he wanted to be a member, he would have to do things like that. Hook them up. Make it worth it to them to have him around. And I don't know. I still want to hope for the best, but, dude, I just don't know, man. I don't know. I really don't know because... Sorry, I had a phone call. I really don't know. I don't know what to think anymore, man. I don't know. I'm kind of like back on the fence again about it, like not really sure. Now, don't get me wrong. There ain't no fucking way I want Kamala as president, for sure. I'd rather take our chances with Trump because Really, man. It's like, I don't know. Like, I want to believe that we're picking, that the guy who's our president now is on our side and with us more than he is with those super rich, like with the Bilderbergs. Jeez, I swear. Another phone call. Jeez. Let me wrap this shit up. So as soon as I answer, it's gonna hang up the phone, or it's gonna end this video. But yeah, I don't know. It just makes me wonder, man. It makes me wonder. Brokering deals with the fucking BlackRock. I don't know. It could, though. I mean, if that's what happened, if he had something to do with it, it could be his bid. It could be his bid to become a new member. But I would like to think not. But, you know, I guess only time will tell. I hope that I was wrong about him in the past and that he actually is with us. But, I haven't seen much change. Eggs went down to $4 a dozen as opposed to $9 fucking a dozen the last time I looked at them a month or two before. But also that same week I ended up paying like $3.94 for fucking gas when usually it's around like high $2, low $3 and something, you know. Today it's $3.24. But I also didn't look at any prices anywhere else. I just get gas wherever gas station I'm going to. So, but I was like, well, shit, I'd rather have high priced eggs than lower priced gas. But, you know, who knows, man. There's so many fucking games going on with all this shit, man, that you never really know what's going on. You don't really know. Even the most accurate source of news that you can find, they might not know all of the details either, you know what I mean? Because, like, a lot of shit's done in secret, so, I don't know, man. But the Bilderbergs are not, dude, I don't know. I'm fucking certain that Obama, him too, but, Biden and Kamala are Bilderbergs. Now, Kamala is probably like a puppet that they're trying to use. I don't think she's like necessarily a member, but definitely controlled by them. You see the fucking lengths that they went to try to win an election by bringing in a bunch of prisoners and criminals and shit from other countries to try to get votes and put them up in hotels and expensive hotels, give them lots of money, all kind of shit, so they can get votes, and then they lost anyways, and then they weren't planning on doing anything about getting rid of these people. But it made me wonder, like, why not? You know, like people in North Carolina that had this fucking horrible disaster. I know there's a disaster in all the rich people's houses and shit out in California, and, you know, yeah, it sucks. I'm not happy for that. You know, I'm not like happy, like, haha, you know? I mean, I don't feel as bad for them as the people in North Carolina or in the Carolinas or whatever on the East Coast that don't have shit and just had everything wiped out. And the female's like, here's $750 a fucking household. What the fuck are you gonna do with that? You know? When Kamala and her group, they could have done the same thing that they did with all these people they brought in from other countries, but for people who've had disasters, they could have done the same exact thing for them, spent the same amount of money on them, and guaranteed, because here's the thing, you bring in people from another country, and all you're doing is stacking, per person, potentially, one vote against other people that are already here. But if they would have done that for people in disasters and like homeless people and done that stuff with people who already live here, for every vote that they got for doing that and helping people in this country already, that would have been one less vote for Trump. So now it would almost be like a double vote if they had done it that way. You know? They could have sat and taken, say if they took 5 million homeless people, put them up in hotels for a year, gave them, you know, cut them a nice fat check like they supposedly did for these guys, and these people they brought in, and instead of just taking like, you know, say 330 million people and then trying to just pack 5 million extra votes of their own in there, you could have taken that million votes from the that Trump might have gotten and swung them over to them, and so not only is that a million extra votes for them, it's a million less for him. So it just amazed me that the Bilderberg types in the world, like, you know, yeah, they got enough sense to like try and cheat, but they could have done it a lot easier and looked a lot better and potentially had a much better chance of winning had they done it that way. So it just makes me wonder, you know, like, why not just do that? You know, help take a bunch of disabled veterans, help them, help homeless people here, help people that are affected by disasters. You know, cut them fucking fat checks and put them up in a hotel while their homes are getting rebuilt. You think they would vote for any fucking body else? I highly doubt it. And like I said, for every one of those, it's essentially like getting 2 votes because you're taking one away. Whereas bringing people in that didn't live here to begin with, you're not taking anything away from Trump. In fact, when people found out what they were doing, I'm sure that swung more votes in favor of Trump. So, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, the way they go about it, it's just, like, the way the Bilderberg types go about shit is just kind of dumb, man. Like, that's the best shit they can come up with. I'm telling you, dude, like, I don't want to be one of them, but, like, fuck, dude, I could give them better fucking advice than the shit that they're coming up with, dude. I mean, fuck. I could have found ways, if they were willing to spend shit tons of money, I could have found much better ways for them to win votes from people who are already here and take votes away from Trump. But, you know, still glad she didn't win. But I'm just saying, you know, if they had been smart about it, they could have been much more successful. Even if she didn't win, they could have still had a lot better chance than they did by doing it the way they did. Because when people found out what was going on and what they were doing, I'm sure that lost them a lot of votes. So, you know, say you bring in 5 million people, but you lose 10 million votes or more because of what you're doing, you really just shot yourself in the fucking, like, not even the foot, more like in the chest, like in the lung. You're just slowly, you know, suffocating and bleeding out, you know. It just doesn't make any fucking sense. So, there's got to be something more to that, though. There has to be another reason why. I think, my thought was that maybe they're trying to bring in these crazy motherfuckers, these, like, prison gang members and shit to help create a state of fear. You know, because that's what they want. They want the population to be in fear and completely reliant on the government and give up all their guns and give up all their rights and pretty much just shut the fuck up and do what we're told and don't even think about asking questions. And I'm telling you, I finally watched 1984. I've heard of it. I knew what it was about for years, but I finally watched it. Dude, that is exactly where the fuck we were heading, dude. That's exactly where we were heading. So, I'm hoping that that's not the case anymore, but man, that is... If you ain't seen that movie, I highly recommend you watch the original, old school movie and tell me that we weren't heading in that direction. Free thinker, and they criticize you. Somebody asks a question, they start yelling free thinker like it's a fucking terrible thing, and you get locked up. This guy's daughter, I swear she's like a little Nazi, and she starts yelling at the main guy, yelling at him, calling him a free thinker, and he's just like, fuck, you know, like, shit, she knows. You know, he's wondering things and asking questions. And he gets locked up at some point, and when he's in there, that girl, her dad was in there, and he asked what happened, and she ratted him out. And the dad's like, I must have raised her well, because, you know, she did the right thing and turned me in because he's saying something in his sleep. He was asleep, talking out loud in his sleep about how Big Brother's not good or something like that. And she fucking busted him out and got his ass locked up. And when you get locked up in that movie, yeah, they don't kill you. They fix you by just beating you down mentally until you finally give in, until you actually truly believe what they're telling you. And that's how it's fucking crazy, man. That's where we were going for sure. Hopefully we're not anymore. It seems like maybe we're not anymore, but who knows? Who fucking knows, man? This whole world's a fucking crazy mess, dude. And there's so many people with so much power, so much money, so much fucking influence. That's how the news is able to be full of shit. That's why I stopped paying attention to news like 20 years ago, because I knew even back then. Once I learned about the Bilderbergs a lot and realized that they own all the major media news outlets and all the things they own and people who are members, you know, what they own, I'm like, okay. So I gave up on the news at least 20 years ago because I was like, oh, well, pretty much everything you hear is going to be based on their agenda. That's why the news always seems agenda-driven, because it's their agenda. But, you know, a lot of people never even heard of the Bilderberg Group. And they never even acknowledged their existence. They they denied the existence of this group, and they have yearly meetings. Like one weekend every year, they all meet up somewhere, and it's completely behind closed doors. No one is allowed in that hotel or out, especially in. Like, if you're not invited and an invited member, you're not getting in there. So, I don't know how they staff this shit, because, fuck, man, like, some stuff you think would get out, but only a few things ever have. Like the oil crisis in the 70s. The last meeting they had before that oil crisis happened in the 70s, that was what they planned to do. They planned that shit. There was no actual crisis. They just made this shit up, because how can you prove there's not? You know? All you gotta do is say there's a shortage. You know, send less to the gas stations. Who fucking knows any different? What blue-collar, working-class person has the time or money or ability to go fly around the fucking world and find out that there's really not a crisis? You know? So, I don't know. I got a lot more to say about this, and of course I'm getting on a decent roll, but I don't know. It's getting late. I gotta start doing some shit, because I gotta go back here a little bit. And I gotta call my mom back, because she's one of the people that called, so... Anyhow, but yeah, I want to get on a video like this, because I could probably go on for a couple hours just going on and on and on about this, because it's fucking crazy. You want to talk about COVID? Dude, there's no way that they weren't responsible. There's no fucking way that the Bilderbergs were not responsible. And there's so many fucking... Like, I can't prove this, but I challenge anybody. I openly welcome any challenge. Please, prove me wrong. I hope somebody can. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope that Spectre isn't essentially, running the fucking world, but they're called the Bilderbergs instead, Like, I hope I'm wrong, but dude, there's just too much fucking evidence saying I'm not. And, I mean, pretty much all this shit, I bet my fucking life on it, dude. I'm telling you. There's way too much going on, dude. And way too many things that all tie together that tells me they're in fucking control, man. Now, maybe Trump ain't one of them. I fucking hope he's not. And I hope he's not trying to become one of them. Because if he is, then But fuck, we haven't had a non-Bilderberg president since I was fucking born. And I'm about to be 44. So, this might be this time and the other time he was in office, maybe the only times that a Bilderberg wasn't the president. Or the other person running who doesn't win, like the main two candidates. So, I don't know. I have a lot of stuff I really want to cover. I've covered some of it in the past too, but I really just, I really want to get into it in depth. But I got to be in the right mood, and I have to have the time, and have enough space on my phone to be able to just run through the whole thing. But COVID, man. I mean, that kind of shit doesn't just happen to happen. It hasn't happened. When's the last real, major worldwide fucking virus ever happened? I mean, the closest I could think of probably the fucking bubonic plague that took out a shit ton of people in, Europe, but it didn't spread to the West because there weren't many people, if anybody, traveling over there at the time. So, but I mean, really, I think there was some kind of a virus outbreak. I remember bringing this up to somebody during COVID, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the early 1900s, there was one." I'm like, "Yeah, 100 fucking years ago there was." Jeez, dude. 100 years ago. 100 years ago. It doesn't just happen, man. It doesn't just fucking happen. Plus, me, my partner at work, another guy that worked with us, and quite a few other people I know, all had it a couple months before we ever even heard of coronavirus. So, anyways, I gotta fucking go because people aren't gonna stop fucking calling. So, I'll be back at some point soon. Y'all have a good one. Catch you later.